Hey, how y'all doing out there? I hope all is going well. I know I look a little tired because, baby, I have had a weekend. You hear me? I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. It has been a journey. I know I look tired because I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, wow, girl, you look sleepy. But I did not want to miss the opportunity to share with you a revelation that I got from the whole experience. Most of you may know or may not know that for me, I know it can look like I am all over the place, but I want to say that it all comes together because that's a part of my personality. I didn't make myself that way. I did not try to keep up with the Joneses. I am just in my authentic way, doing what I'm purposed to do. And sometimes I may have gotten off track, but God always bring me back around. And so today, before I get out of here and, make these coins, I decided to create this video just for you. If you have, and I've never done those things. People say, I don't know who this is for. Listen, it's for all of us, okay? It's for myself included. This is why I'm sharing my story with you, because I recognize that, this could be something that could be helpful to you, all right? Now, what I want to talk about is getting what you need. All right, I got this new mic thing. I just didn't want to make sure it wasn't stuck on anything else, but I'm going to fix it right now. Getting what you need. What does that look like? Getting what you need. Getting what you need. I was in revival this whole entire weekend. It started on Thursday. And Pastor, God bless her soul, Pastor Nakisha Mitchell, she is the pastor at C4 Church in Syracuse, New York. And when I tell you, it was amazing. There was so much that had taken place. But the thing that stuck out in my head this morning when I got up was that word, get what you need. And it was a revival. And a revival means that it's now something that may have been laying dormant. God wants to use it again. He wants to activate that thing in you. It's time for a shift in your life, right? Something that's, and I wrote it down, it's something about being restored that feels so good. That's a part of revival. You know how it is when you've been drained or feel like you're just tired, have no strength for anything, but then you get some strength some kind of way and you're back at it again. And I started thinking about that thing as far as us being more seasoned, because I'm talking to the women. That's my passion. My passion is to elevate the mindset of women. Now, we all can pour into one another, but I'm just sharing with you what God has given me. And I thought about it. I thought about ladies, sisters, get what you need in this season of your life. If you desire change, because we are always in a progression. If you're stagnant, you might want to check that. You might want to kind of figure out, why are you stagnant in your life? Why are you feeling frustrated within yourself? Every season requires a different you. And can I be honest? That was something that I struggled with for a long time. I struggled with getting out of the box because it takes courage and it takes being talked about to find your identity, to find out who you are at different levels of your life. Getting what you need means being authentic to yourself and saying, wait a minute, I've been like a crab in a barrel, but I'm trying to get myself out because I know that what I needed in that particular season, I may not need it right now. You have to get what you need in this journey, at this time, at this moment. It may cause some controversy because, baby, I'm the controversial queen. People wonder all the time, what is she doing? Why is she over there? Why is she here? Why is she all over the place? It's because if you don't know and you're trying to find your way, go after it with all you have. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. So what? That's life. People may say what they want to say about that. Okay, how is that going to affect you at this stage of your life? You know, I have this, I coined this phrase because I heard it so long ago. To the degree that you need acceptance from someone is to the degree that it will affect you. And if you don't need acceptance, get what you need in this season. At the revival, I'm going to share this with you. This is what had got me, it had really got me going this morning. I thought about something that Pastor Nakisha, when she got up to even introduce, all the things that was going to happen. And when praise was high, praise and worship was going on, there were people in the room. Now, hear me clearly. It was a lot of people there, a lot of young people, a lot of seasoned saints, whatever you name it. And she kept saying, get what you need, because there was clearly some spectators. There was some people who were participating. And then there were those who kind of looked confused, like they just didn't know what was going on. And I got to thinking about us in our lives. Some of us are not even participating in our own lives. Some of us are spectators. We are looking at the progress, shall I say, or the image that others portray on the social media platforms. That life is great. They're doing wonderful. They're traveling the world, okay? And everything is perfect. That's a lie. We all have those moments when you hit those highs and lows, but give you an A for at least the effort to try. We all had to, okay, let's try this. It's like baking a cake. Sometimes it comes out good and sometimes it's not. You got to throw it out. You got to start all over again. Get what you need in this season. It doesn't matter. Some people have gotten to the place that they look at their lives like a jigsaw puzzle. And they say, oh my God, where do I begin? I know I've been there. Where do I begin? Lord, it's so many things that I had to put down, or I had to pick up. I had to get rid of. What do I do? What is going on? How do I process this all? Take a moment and look yourself in the mirror and say, what do I really want in this season? I'm talking to the seasoned saints as it relates to the women, because that's my heart's desire. We have come to a place, some of us, that it feels like we're stuck. Okay, all right, I'm just going to wait for the Lord to call me home. No. For me, I'm just getting started. For me, my vision is so big. And I'm thinking, yeah, some people get to the place where it's time to retire. I'm just going to wind down. I'll take a few trips, or I'll just sit in the home, or I do some things around the house. I like gardening, all of that. Whatever your thing is, get what you need out of your life, because there are those that are frustrated with where they are. Could you be that spectator in your own life? You have to participate in your own rescue. I tell a lot of my clients that one of the things that is so important is you got to recognize nobody's coming to rescue you. Now, listen, I'm a believer, okay? We know that God is He's everything. But I'm talking practical right now to the women that need some encouragement. There are those who are sick in their body. There are those who are financially challenged. There are those who just don't know what's going on. And that's like the person I talked about at the revival that's sitting around, don't know which way to go. This is the time that you need to have somebody pour into you like I'm doing now. Everyone needs someone. A counselor needs a counselor. A therapist needs a therapist. A friend needs another friend that's going to be honest with them. Not sugarcoat things. Tell them the truth. And that leads me to this other point. Get what you need, even if that means to let some people go. That is one of the most painful things, to have to come to the realization that you have to let some people go. It's not like they were a bad person. Sometimes you don't need that conversation to close out the long time friendship or association with organizations or people in general. I had to understand, be okay with whatever the narration of the story is that they want to share. I had to learn, for me, I'm speaking about me, but maybe it's some of you that are still dreamers and desire to see great things happen in your life, that your eyes haven't gotten so dim that you stop visualizing good things happening in your life. I had to be okay. Did it hurt? Yes, it hurts to release people that you know in your gut that it's time for them to get off the bus. Your dreams don't align. The conversations are not the same. Where you are trying to go, they may not fit the mold. I'm not talking about throwing people away just because of a disagreement. I'm talking about destiny. Destiny will cause you to go after something that you just visualize in your head, but nobody understands why you moving and shaking the way that you do. Some people think you lost your mind, or you just think you're better than everybody else. That little phrase right there, you think you better than everybody else, it's not about being better. It's about alignment with what you see happening in your life. Getting what you need. You know, sometimes it's just this gut-wrenching feeling that it's more to my life. I'm not living up to my full potential. It's something that you can't explain, but it keeps you up sometime at night. And you know that even you think sometimes that, wow, this is kind of, yeah, it is. I am thinking outside the box. People are going to think I'm crazy for thinking like this. But I cannot get away from it because it's a God-given desire. I've always been a dreamer. I wanted big things. And did it always pan out that way? No. Honey, listen, if I could tell you all the mishaps, the missteps, the disappointments, the embarrassment, the shame, the guilt I've been through, but I can laugh about it now. Those were just testers for me. It was in a space where I'm learning. We're all learning this thing called life. And you know what it's called? Faith. Having the crazy faith. I've gotten things on crazy faith half of my life, and people be like, girl, no, God has given me the ability to be able to say to people without saying it verbally, walk away gracefully. When it does not fit the alignment in your assignment, no conversations, no tail bearing and backbiting about them. Just close the door and keep moving. It will bring so much peace. I have a client right now because, God is so funny where he puts me in positions where there are things I don't want to do, but I know that there's a calling on my life, whether in the pulpit or whether in the community. God knows who to bring, right? That's going to validate what God has called you to do. And there is something about human behavior that wants closure. There will be moments you will never get why. It will be a question mark forever. You have to be okay with that. Get what you need in this season. And all I kept hearing at the revival this weekend, Pastor Nakisha kept saying, get what you need. Get what you need from the Lord. There were young adults praising God. There were people falling out all over the place under the anointing of God. There was so much going on. And then there were the spectators just sitting there like a bump on a log. Like if you screamed and hollered any louder in the microphone, they still was not going to move. Now, I understand that the message is not for everyone. And some people are okay just where they are. But I'm talking to them dreamers out there, baby. I'm talking to the ones that know that it's still so much more on the inside, but you have to, you ain't gonna like this, you have to die to self. Your old identity cannot take you in the places and spaces that God wants you to go right now. I know what I'm talking about. It feels like a death and a resurrection at the same time. It feels like joy and sadness at the same time. And let's flip it around. What about people that you were so connected to, but now they have walked away from you? And now you're questioning, what happened? What did I do? I'm sitting here scratching my head trying to figure it out. And one day the Lord said, the same way that I talked to you about moving on. And sometimes you stayed longer in a situation and relationships with people than you should have. And now that you've gotten the memo, you decided to go head on. So the same way I talk to you, daughter, I talk to them too. Whatever you had to give them, to pour into them, the journey or the session was up. And they had to move on too. Isn't that a better way to frame how to move on and to get what you need? As opposed to being upset. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, they think they something. You know, well, we used to be friends. It's okay. The time has passed. The journey is up. And pray for them that God would give them the desires of their heart, and whatever the Lord has them to do, that they be blessed. And let's keep on going on. Because there's no other way to try to wrap your mind around it. I have clients that ruminate over why this happened, why I didn't get this closed, or they didn't understand. So what? Pray against the spirit of offense. Ha! When you have peace, when you have joy, unspeakable joy in your heart, because you got to have a relationship with God in order to even walk in that kind of level. But, you know, listen, I could go on, but what I will say is get what you need. Don't be a spectator in your own life. Sitting on the sidelines, worrying about how people are going to look, because I know, I know without a shadow of a doubt that those that follow me, you have seen the evolution over the years, right? The different things, and people, girl, you everywhere. You hear them everywhere. You know why? Because I'm getting what I need. When my divorce happened, I recognized it wasn't a sad thing. It was freedom. After a while, I realized, oh, I'm free. I could travel. I could do whatever I want to do. Like, what? After the crying and the sulking was over, I said, I'm going to live life, baby, to the fullest, till it overflow. And the joy that I started feeling that I didn't have in my marriage, I was happy. And the authentic truth is, I can't be anything other than what God has called me to be, even down to my name. At one point in my life as a little girl, I despised my name. Who would name their child? Well, listen, Dalvera. It's a very unique name. And one day the Lord said to me, I want you to stop telling people, just call me Vera because it's easier to pronounce. No, call me Dalvera. Those that know me, you know, over the years, I know you're still stuck on that. But Dalvera, I am unique. I am different. I have owned it. And there are times now that, believe it or not, women still live as an adult on the outside, but still a little girl on the inside, looking for acceptance, looking for validation, looking for affirmation. We don't think so, but in some ways, you got to think back. There are strongholds that God's still breaking off of our lives if we allow him to, because we have to be a participant in the delivery, right? I know I'm going, listen, I feel like preaching. I'm trying to hold it back, okay? I'm trying to hold it back, I promise you, because this weekend has just been an awesome weekend. But in all honesty, get what you need. It doesn't matter the age. Dream again. Dream bigger. If the dream is so small, most of the preachers always say it's not God. If you have a big dream and you're fighting to get it out, you feel stuck, get what you need. Go back to the drawing board and ask God to continue to reveal to you the whole. He ain't going to give you the whole story, because if he would have gave me the roadmap to my life, I might not have started off saying yes. But you understand, the journey is long. But isn't it a good thing to still be here to say the journey is long? Get what you need. If you have to disconnect, do so. Let people tell the story that they want to tell. Don't carry the spirit of offense. Don't do it. It will hinder you. It will be a roadblock in your mind. You will always ruminate over that, and nobody needs that. I'll give you an example. In this season, when I first came to Delaware, and I was going through the process of healing and trying to find my way, because I felt like a fish out of water. I was so disconnected from my past, right? Trying to disconnect from my past because of shame and guilt and mourning what was. I could not embrace what was becoming. And I was stuck between the two identities, trying to have to let go of what was to embrace where I was. That makes sense? And where I was going, because what was no longer existed. I had to live in the now. And finding new identity is not easy. People think that using that phrase is always for someone that's young, the young people. Oh, you're just trying to find yourself. Baby, we always trying to find ourselves. I mean, we ain't lost, but God is just sitting there. He's watching us make decisions, right? Because there's our destiny that we desire for our lives, and then God has a whole plan for us. But what I'm talking about is the older women who feels like they're no longer needed in a lot of ways. And I don't want to get kind of like caught up in that. You have to think about it. The seasoned saints, the women 50, 60 plus, you're in a whole different space now. Your childbearing years, for a lot of us, is over. Some women are married, but their bodies are doing this thing called menopause. You may have relocated, different job. You might want to have some outlets of new hobbies and things of that nature. And all of this is all of the moving parts that you are trying to navigate and find out, who am I in this space? Get what you need. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Grab a hold of the things that you truly want to do in this season. I came to Delaware. I started line dancing. I met a lot of friends. I don't line dance as much. Y'all don't, you see me do my thing or whatever. But when I say I don't line dance that much, I mean as within the group, because I'm still working on some things. That's not my whole identity, right? My identity is wrapped up in the entrepreneur that I am, right? All of the different moving parts. Entrepreneur, I'm a writer. I'm also a person who, foster care. I do all these different kind of things. I am not just a one-dimensional. And sometimes people could say, oh my God, she's all over the place. No, I'm in the spaces that God has given me the fortitude to stand in and to multitask. Whereas you might be only able to carry a few things, but get what you need in this season. But your identity is not tied up in your past. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, one of the hardest things that people struggle with is letting go and allowing people to have the narration of your life, that you're no longer in that space any longer. You're different. You have shifted. And people have a hard time letting go and releasing that. Let it go. You're not crazy. the frustration that's on the inside that's churning, because you know it's more to you. You're not one-dimensional. I've heard women say, oh, I wish I could be like you, travel by yourself. You can. I heard one of my cousins, she said to me the other day, she might listen to the video, but this is what she said. You in the car again? You're driving? Where you going now? I'm on my way to Syracuse, New York. Well, who's with you? Nobody. Girl, you like a road runner. Beep, beep. Listen. I'm on an assignment, and I'm going to live my life. I'm going to travel. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to do everything that I can do, with or without friends. I am not going to sit on the sidelines. And a sidebar note is, I've seen the result of people in my family who sat on the sidelines of their lives in the later stages, and all they did was sit in the house, and then one day the Lord called their number. Now, that's what their choice was. I'm not mad at them, but that's not my story. And I will not hold myself back for being a dreamer. I will not hold myself back because people may not understand. And you may have that same kind of narrative. People don't understand why you do what you do. Keep going. Get what you need. Keep pressing forward. Keep taking those risks. Because you only get that. People say it all the time. You only get that one life. It's the truth. It's not a dress rehearsal. You don't get a do-over. We're doing things God's way, but at the same time, you got to do some things afraid. Fear has caused a lot of people to sit back and at the last stages of their life. And also, y'all going to be like, girl, you do everything. Also, I volunteer at hospice, okay? At the last stages of somebody's life, they always have this phrase, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. I wish I would have had the opportunity to do blank, blank, blank. I want to be the one they say, well, my goodness, this woman, she died empty because she lived the life that she talked about, not just perpetrating and putting images and making people think that I'm happy. When I'm happy, you see it. When I'm going through something, I talk about it because it's very therapeutic to be your authentic self, where some people, they have a problem with that. They don't want them to, I want you to have this image that my life is just wonderful all the time. Nah, I'm a truth teller over here. I'm going to let you know, you going through something right now, baby girl, but you're going to be all right. Let me give you this story that actually happened this weekend. And it's another reason why I wanted to share with the women that get what you need. Service was high the whole time. Revival was off the chains. And on Sunday, this woman, after the church services were over, the apostle waving me down. And I'm like, and I'm in a pulpit. It's a side door to go out of. They're summoning us to come. We get out in the hall. We go into his office. There is someone there. There's a woman, and she's crying, and I won't share her entire story, but I'm going to say this. She was so moved by the revival and by how we all kind of like shared our stories a little bit just through testimony while, I was emceeing and praying and ministering to people. She was crying and going through something. And we let her talk. And she went on. I just wanted her to get it out. Something she kept repeating, but I wanted her to just get it out. And then one of my friends, Pastor Maria Greer, she prayed for her and then started sharing a little bit of her story. And then I shared my story, because the main thing that had her so emotionally distraught was she felt stuck. She felt stuck. A lot of things had happened, loss, marital issues, whatever, right? Loss of home, everything. But when she got to the part, I don't know what to do, I felt like, let me jump in, because I experienced that. So I knew exactly what the Lord was telling me to tell her. And the first thing I said was, I understand. I want to make sure I heard you correctly. And I repeated back some of the things. Then I said, the first thing you do is, it's time to rewrite your story. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, you've been disappointed. May have been betrayed. You have had some loss. You may have lost your husband. All right, he passed on. But now, let's rewrite your story. Not what I want for you, but what God wants for you. And then I said, are you in community? She looked at me. I said, are you a part of this church? Are you part of this ministry? I used to be. And it hit me. Aha. That's how the enemy really plays on you. Isolation only breeds depression, oppression. You're in your own headspace. You're in your own mind. So it's like, oh my goodness, you just going through it because you're by yourself. And I might hurt some of y'all feelings, but I got to tell you, I got to rip the Band-Aid off. We got to get over this thing. I don't need no new friends. Maybe that's the problem. You need new friends. Them old friends, and y'all are crab in a barrel, and y'all talking about the same thing, and you're staying stuck. Get out of that circle. Sometimes you got to get outside, baby. Come off the porch. Come off the porch. Sometimes you have to make that decision to come off the porch. As we talked, she started to brighten up. You could see, just started to get a little rosy cheeks, and she was listening and not going on and on with her story. And I just shared with her, you need community, you need church, you need to be involved, because this is going to help build you up. It's going to have to help you gird you up. You're going to find your strength in the house of the Lord. Good morning, Pastor Nikisha. Oh my goodness, girl, let me tell you, you have set me on fire. All I heard this morning was get what you need. Get what you need. Oh my God, get what you need. I was sharing about people being a spectator, people who are participators, and those that were sitting around looking like they know what was going on. And I'm sharing how women our age, we got to get what we need. And that means that if we have to cut some friends off, start all over because God has a bigger plan for us, then so be it. If God tells, we may look crazy in front of people. Well, why are you changing? Why are you doing that? Because I'm getting what I need. I'm getting what God has called for me in this season. Some of us and I use the word some a lot, and I don't want to say a lot of women because everybody's not the same, but I know for a fact, as a person who counsels, there are women who feel like life is over because we're older. No, baby, we just getting started. Get a new vision. Get a new goal. But you need community. That is a lie and a trick of the enemy. I hear so many on social media platforms with people my age. Oh, we don't need no new friends. Why you don't need new friends? That's the problem. If you're stuck in that place, then you can never see something new. You can never see God doing something great in your life outside of what you already had. The vision has died, the old vision. And you know what? I have a vision board in my room. And I was looking at it this morning, and the Lord said, half the things on here you have not accomplished, right? We want to move on, but you have not accomplished. We need people who are going to hold us accountable. We need to be in that posture where you truly can get into that place. And I know some may say, girl, I've already shifted. But sometimes there are women who need a push. We need to be encouraged. And there are times we're around people who say that they're our friends, who say they want to see us win, but secretly don't like nothing about us. I'm telling you what I know. I am a midwife. I am a pusher. I want to see people succeed. And that's why I'm saying right now, listen, get what you need. I'm on my way out the door, but I had to stop by to tell all of my seasoned saints, the women of God, that your life is not over. Don't be a spectator. Be a participator in your own rescue, because nobody's coming to rescue you. God gives us the freedom of will. We can either stay stuck, or we can get out of being in neutral and put that sucker in drive and keep it going. And I say this all the time, statistically, it proves that for the older generation, the more you stay within community, affiliation with church, getting involved with the things in the ministry, also having outside hobbies. Mine's happen to be line dancing, but not just that. I love jewelry. I used to go and be a part of meetup groups that they do, making jewelry and learning how to do other things. That may not be your thing. You may be a traveler like me. I love to do a plethora of things. Why? Because I'm getting what I need. So what about you? Get what you need in this season. Don't keep that car stuck in park. Get out and get what you need, even if it means letting some passengers out along the way. That's the word. Preach, Vera. I felt that in my sha-na-na. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, that was for me too. Listen, drive that car, even if you got to let some people out on the way. Yeah, that's a good one, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Y'all have an awesome day. And, you don't never know when I'm going to pop up, pop out, wherever I'm going to be. But what y'all know about me is I'm going to be somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to be somewhere. I'm on my way to work right now, though. All right, I love y'all. And y'all already know I'm about to say, smooches!